Sorry, we will continue. This is an important slide. It will take me a little longer. The earlier two parts, the first two parts, I have already discussed with you in the salary calculation, salary discussion. I will compare these, see the similarity of the wording. See, the same purpose is sought to be achieved in respect of salary income, business income, and also other incomes, income under the head other sources. See how a similar transaction, see how the legislation works. They have gotten the provision for under 56 to 11 and 28 clause 2 subclause E. They have got these insertions, subclause E and 56 to 11 from assessment year 1920, just now, last year. It is very important. See the similarity of the wording, see the purpose which they are seeking to achieve by bringing out, by bringing in rather, similarly worded provision in respect of salary income, business income, and other sources income. Let me take you through this. You are aware that when we have discussed profits in lieu of salary, when compensation is received by a person, by an employee, see there, read the first section 17.3 profits in lieu of salary, the first part. The amount of any compensation due to or received by an assessee from his employer. They are not saying that you should be an employee, but by virtue of the fact that you are receiving it from your employer makes you an employee. They are not stating received by an employee. It is stated that received by an assessee from his employer. The person paying is the employer. So obviously when something comes to you from your employer, it cannot take the nature of anything other than salary. It has to be only salary when it comes to you from your employer. This is the issue which I am trying to bring home. When you receive any compensation in pursuance of termination of the services or modifications of terms and conditions of employment, if it is received by you from your employer, it is 17.3 salary income. Before we go to 56 to 11, which I did the other day, let me take you to 28.2, section 28 clause 2 subclause E. I will enlarge it. Any compensation, see how similarly the wording, similarly it is worded. Any compensation or other payment due to or received by. This is the section 28 clause 2. It states only this, and then it has subclauses A to E. E is inserted from assessment year 1920. I have highlighted that, darkened it. It wasn't there. Clauses A to D existed since long in 28 clause 2. Subclauses A to D existed since long. E subclause is introduced in 1920 assessment year. See the wording. But please understand, you have not to forget 28.2. Any compensation or other payment due to or received by any person. This is very, very important. Any person. They are not referring to this person as an employee. like they referred in 17.3, the earlier explanation which I gave. There they were referring to receipt from the employer. Here they are not referring to you receiving an amount from your employer. It can be received by any person in any capacity. There the capacity was employer-employee. Here they are not referring to any capacity, but you are receiving a compensation or any other payment by any person. You are receiving by a person, by any person, by whatever name called. Again, this whatever name called does not refer to your name, please. It refers to compensation or payment or any other name, assign any other name. Recall the earlier discussion also, which we just had. When you receive a payment or a compensation, you call it by any name, and you are receiving, a person receives it. You are not referred to as an employee, you are not an employee, you are receiving it not as an employee. In what connection? At or in connection with the termination or modification. Connection with termination or modification of terms and conditions of any contract relating to his business. Relating to his business. If you are getting a compensation or other payment in connection with the termination or modification of the terms and conditions relating to his business. See the 17.3 clause, relating thereto. Thereto would mean employment. Here there is no employment. I am reminded of a very interesting Supreme Court judgment, Malabar Industrial Company Limited versus CIT. Very interesting judgment. Pronounced, of course, in 2000. Very interesting judgment. It caters to this, exactly this provision. There the issue was that Malabar Industrial had sold its rubber plantation estate to a company. Rubber plantation estate it has sold to a company, and that company had to make the payments to this Malabar Industrial, and somehow that company was not able to make the payments in time. So they entered into an agreement that this company, Malabar Industrial, be compensated for the delayed payment. They wanted to cancel the contract, but then they said, okay, we will not cancel, we will make you a delayed payment, we will pay you a compensation. That of course, the compensation which they received, I will not discuss that judgment per se. That will be another issue. Of course, that is not a part of your syllabus. That's a different question. I am only trying to state that now they have come out with a specific provision in business income, section 28, clause 2, subclause E, which says that when you receive a put yourself in Malabar Industrial Company case, you have entered into an agreement with the company, you have to get certain payments which that company has not been making, so you want to cancel that agreement. The company tells you, don't cancel the agreement please, I will make you payment of certain compensation. Now apply this clause, subclause E. What does it say? Any compensation or other payment due to or received by any person, you are any person, relating to his business. You are in business. You have entered into a contract with that company. That company has not paid you the money, but it says, okay, I have not paid you the money, I will pay you compensation. So that compensation which you receive from the company will be brought to tax in your hands as business income. Compensation that you receive, the company tells you your contract may be, let us say, worth 50 lakhs. Let us say that contract is not executed. So because that contract is not executed by that company, it is willing to pay you compensation, let us say rupees 10 lakhs. 50 lakh contract not executed, it says I am not able to pay you 50 lakh rupees, I will pay you 10 lakh rupees as compensation. You say okay, pay me 10 lakh rupees as compensation, not as a part of the contract but as a part of compensation. This is very, very important, that compensation will be brought to tax as business income. Compensation received by any person relating to his business, either on termination or on modifications of the terms and conditions. You may modify the terms. You may say, okay, I will modify the terms, pay me compensation 10 lakh rupees. In both cases, whether termination or modification. Now you may start thinking, why is there a necessity for bringing this provision specifically as subclause E in section 28 clause 2? Your thinking may be correct. Courts have held compensation is a capital receipt. It does not partake the character of income. Compensation meaning indemnification, making good the loss. The loss that has been suffered by you, you are being compensated. That loss has been made good. There is no question of income. So to overcome these judgments of the courts where compensation was held to be capital receipt, not chargeable to tax. Compensation were held to be capital receipts, compensating, making good the loss, not resulting into income. So therefore, the courts held that this will not be brought to tax because it is compensation. So now they have come out with an amendment to the section 28 clause. To subclause E they have inserted, you get compensation or other payment by any name if it relates to business, whereby there was a termination of a contract or modification of terms and conditions of any contract, you will be brought to tax under 28(2). As I have discussed with you, I think I have discussed with you earlier, capital receipts generally exempted unless specifically brought to tax. This is the case of capital receipt now, which was generally held to be exempt, now being specifically brought to tax. Revenue receipts generally taxable unless specifically exempt. They are opposite to each other. Capital receipts exempt unless taxed specifically. This case 28(2), 56(2)(10), 17(3), capital receipt being brought to tax specifically. Revenue receipt generally taxable unless specifically exempted. In section 10 you have instances of revenue receipt generally now specifically exempted. I hope I am making this clear to you. Employer-employee relationship, you getting a compensation, 17(3), profits and lieu of salary. Under a business contract, there is an annulment, termination, modification, terms and conditions of contract, compensation received, business income, 28(2), subclause E. Please bear this very carefully in mind, so you can now understand how difficult income tax is. Come to 56(2)(11), which I have already done. We have discussed a case of employer-employee relationship giving payment to you, business relationship giving payment to you in the nature of compensation, and taxability in 17(3) and 28(2), subclause E. Now take a case where you receive payment. This is specifically inserted from 1920 to overcome that compensation specifically exempt, generally exempt judgment. It says I have explained this to you earlier, any compensation or other payment due to or received by any person by any person, like in 28.2. Here they are not referring to any contract. In connection with termination of his employment, I have explained to you yesterday, this doesn't mean employment like the employer-employee, salaried employment, no. In connection with termination of his employment or modification of terms and conditions relating thereto, they are not referring to business. They are not referring to salaried employment. So anything other than that, any employment other than salary, or rather any payment other than the salaried payment, employer-employee related payment, or business contract related payment, any payment other than that which you receive, which is compensatory in nature, compensating you, in connection with termination of your employment or modification of terms and conditions thereto, if you receive a compensation, 56 to 11 other sources. They don't want to leave you. If you receive a compensation under salaried employment, 17.3. If you receive a compensation under business contract termination or modification, it is 28.2. And anything other than that, other than 17.3 and 28.2, compensation received, baat khatam, 56 to 11 other sources. See how income tax functions. So now you should understand how complex income tax is. You should sympathize with me. Such a complex provision, such a complex thing, income taxes. I think we will stop here. Next time I will discuss the other issues in business income. This is a very lengthy head of income, but very interesting. You will like this head of income. If you have a little analytical approach, you will like this head of income. Thank you very much.